everyone, I am Dee Dweller and we are back with more Stranded Alien Dawn, talking about seeds again today because it has been brought to my attention that seeds are in fact case sensitive in Stranded Alien Dawn, and there are a few that I may have gotten wrong in the past that we are going to revisit today correctly this time, as well as some other seeds that you all have recommended to me down in the comments of my other videos, and I'm very excited to explore those, so today is the day. Let's go ahead and check them out. The first one we're going to check out is one from Sobrius. This is a classic, folks, but we are going to change the seed name to Laara, but this one is going to be spelled lowercase this time. First things first, we are going to set some parameters here. While we look at these seeds, we're going to review visual aesthetic, and we're also going to review the breakthroughs that come with this. Now, what we consider our priorities for breakthroughs may have shifted since previous videos, given that new game modes have come out. So it seems like we've kind of landed on high ground here. We've got ourselves a nice rock formation back here with a lot of rocks. So there's a lot of mining opportunity right here in close proximity to the crash site, as well as plenty of debris that we can scavenge from, especially if we're playing the crash landing playthrough. But let's take a look at our breakthroughs. Our breakthroughs for Laara, lowercase Laara, are going to be meat printing, printed components, carbon wind turbines, improved laser pistols, and improved rail guns. And please do keep in mind that this might be different from console to PC. I've been receiving a few comments that suggest that seeds aren't necessarily a one-for-one match. In some cases, I am hearing that the location is the same, but the breakthroughs are different. And then in other instances, I've been told that both are different. I am on PC, so these seeds are reflective of what you're going to find in-game on PC and may or may not be different on console, depending. Let's talk resources. That is the third thing that we're going to go over when we check out these seeds. We have quite a lot of berries here. We also have, like I said already, a lot of stone and plenty of trees for cutting. So you're going to have lots of building material. We have lots of berries here. And scrap metal. I'm seeing if we fully pivot and look behind us, there is going to be some sweet syrups back here. Behind the rock formation are the glowing orange mushrooms, which for me are a super intrinsic part of my gameplay. I like to use them for decor and for other things that have been super handy when I play this game. We do have our melons. All of this, again, I haven't left the crash site right here, and all of that is within a few steps. We do have a nest right up here on the hill. So for those of you who like to get your carbon resource early, it's right here. This is your nest. Of course, with any seed that we visit, any resource that you don't find nearby, if you research it off in the distance, you can then plant it within your immediate location. That said, as I'm sitting here talking to you about this, I am seeing the grain cob is in fact right here. So I think the only one we're actually missing is cotton blossom, and that's the seed Laara. So another case-sensitive seed that we have been recommended by the community is yellow snow, and I believe this one is mixed case, capitalized on the front end of both words, space in the middle, no tack, no underscore. And the referral suggested this one because it has a ton of food and rich farmland, which is good too. We're not going to know this at a glance, but the quality of the farmland is also a good factor when you're looking for seeds. It does say stone is limited, but there's lots of scrap and wood at this seed. And the commenter remarked that there is a walk-in survivor early on. I'm seeing a nest there. I mean, I'm pretty much sold already because look at this beautiful winding lake right here, or river. I'm gonna go ahead and just say it's a river because I don't see the end on it in either direction. So if there were the opportunity to craft and sail boats in this game, this would be a fabulous seed for that. We do have right away some berries, I mean a ton of berries truly, 189 right there that I just selected. I'm looking at grain cob right here to the bottom right. We are seeing lots of wood like they suggested, not a lot of stone. I'm assuming if you headed out this way toward the mountains underneath Annette's name, you would be able to find stone there, but it would be quite the hike to bring it all back. Breakthroughs include sleep training, improved solar sails, graphene solar cells, improved railgun snipers, and carbon armor. And again, with the popping up of nest everywhere, that carbon armor breakthrough is going to come in handy. You can really take advantage of that. Also, improved solar cells and graphene solar cells. You're going to be able to set up a really powerful electric grid using solar power, solar energy, which is also really good. I kind of like this. This seems like a really nice combination. Again, with resources, we're seeing plenty of scrap. As mentioned, we also have our sweet syrups here and a nest right here. Like, that's too close for my comfort, but this would be something that I think a lot of people would be excited to see. Something that close where the walk back to camp is not that long at all. So that would be very beneficial if you're planning on attacking and harvesting this. Maybe if you're in military play mode, especially, because then you're going to come fully geared up with plenty of weapons to go in and attack that almost right away. Okay, so I could definitely see the merit of this seed, and again, this one is yellow snow. So the next three on my list are all suggested because these are very nest intensive seeds. So if you are interested in a very nest forward gameplay, these next three seeds are definitely for you. Starting with this one, which is Farmer Tack Back, all caps. When I say it matters that they're case sensitive, that goes both ways, lower and uppercase. I do feel like the crash scenario animation looks very different now than it used to look. All right, so we crashed right here, and in the flea zone we have, and I mean flea like flea, F-L-E-E, not F-E-L-A. We have these sweet syrups right here in the rock formation. In the exact opposite direction, we have grain cob here that we can study, harvest, and then plant, as well as lots of melons. I'm seeing these skin bark plants as well, so you can immediately start harvesting fabrics from the skin bark. If that wasn't enough sweet syrups, there's more right here. So there's plenty of resources, a stone's throw away. If I pivot and turn all the way around, as promised, we're gonna see some nest formations too already right here in line of sight, which is pretty awesome. And then I think if we go this direction, yeah, there's another one here, and if we turn a little bit more, a fourth nest right here. We have, once again, sleep training, this time hay cloth, as well as improved solar cells and balloon optimization. That's a winning combination, and improved laser pistols, which you would kind of want in a situation like this where you're surrounded on all sides. The next seed on our list is called Might Field, also recommended based on the amount of nests that you're going to find in close proximity. That said, we are not going back to the Sobrius region. Instead, for this one, we're going to be hitting up the Desertum region. You know what I'm going to say first for this one? Look at the water. It's right there. How could you possibly not? In fact, I think I've landed on this map before, kind of in this area, but I migrated all the way down to the water because of course I would. And I set up camp right next to this stone formation here. This is a nice area. I do like this region quite a lot, but I will say, yeah, they're right. I'm seeing one immediately through these two pillars. We've got ourselves a nest right here, but if you're willing to go this direction and fight them off, you've got another body of water as well. We're going to be looking at kind of a variety of resources here because we're looking at a new region. Conveniently, there is cloth blossom right here close to our crash landing zone, so I highly recommend researching and then planting this. We're also going to see these little palms that are great for cutting sticks, and more branch cacti, quite a bit of branch cacti right here, in fact. T-ball trees right here, again, right next to your crash zone, and very, very precious, our grain cob right here. I mean, we almost took it out in the crash landing scenario, but there's enough left to research, farm, and then plant. We also have all of these animals here if you're not averse to hunting. And if we're willing to make a little bit of a hike, all you really need is one who's willing to do the research to come out here. You can research these round cacti in this direction, and then hoof it back to wherever you've set up camp to start planting them. Our breakthroughs for this seed are going to be meat printing, improved solar sales, I don't know why I said it like that, improved solar cells, balloon optimization, and improved pulse rifles. I still think balloon optimization is a really good breakthrough to have. So definitely love me a seed with some balloon optimization. It really saves on fuel and it makes it so that you can travel more often. And for complete clarity, the original poster who suggested this seed also mentioned that they had found 17 unguarded nest formations on this seed. So that is a lot of carbon resources for those of you who like to build with carbon. Another Desertum seed that was recommended for the nest formations in close proximity was final tack heavy, all caps on the final end heavy, and we're gonna go ahead and check this out. While that loads, I can go ahead and let you know that the commenter mentioned that there were 16 unguarded nest formations at this seed. We're seeing one right there. All right, so let's take a look. Here we are, crash landing section. We've got some tall grass here, which might be grain grass. If we researched it, we might find out. We have ourselves a little branch cacti here, and right next to it, some cotton blossom, which is good. And the reason for us to visit the seed, we have right here 4 nest formations in this vicinity already, right off the bat. If I turn around, some sweet syrups here, and we are up on high ground. So if we wanted to, we could navigate down here. Of course, you're gonna have to clear it out first if that's something you want to do, because there is a nest immediately down the hill as well. There is resources within a relatively close walking distance, and for sure, plenty of nest to battle royale. Dee the editor here. Because we forgot to go over the breakthroughs, I'm going to go ahead and read them off now. They are meat printing, fuel fermentation, graphene solar cells, carbon wind turbines, and improved pulse rifles for this seed. Now heading in the complete opposite direction, we're going to check out a seed where the commenter specifically mentioned that the nest were very far away rather than being up close and in your face. So let's go to Boo Tack Shoes, all capitalization on the words. Right off the bat, my eye is drawn to this gorge here. We have ourselves just this like pathway cutting across the land, a little canyon here. On this side, we have ourselves some cotton blossom in here, and I'll just scroll over here so we can take a better look. Cotton blossom, a little bit of the red pointy silicone plant. We also have ourselves some smoke leaf. Right here we have some grain cob, not enough to just harvest it wild, but enough to research and then start planting. And right here, the berries. So we have berries, a few more grain cob, a little more smoke leaf, and lots and lots and lots of open space so that you can build and cultivate the land to your liking. And back here, lots of mining. Genuinely so much mining opportunity here. Plenty of stone, plenty of tree. You're not gonna want for building material, that's for sure. I think it would be easier to thrive in this seed than some of the other ones that we looked at before, but if you're willing to take big risk, there are big rewards with those other seeds, given that you're gonna have a much more durable resource in those cases. Let's check out our breakthroughs. We have meat printing, improved laser pistols, improved pulse rifles, improved railgun snipers, and carbon armor. I don't know who this seed thinks you're fighting, but it is really giving you some pretty militant forward breakthroughs here, which isn't a bad thing. We're gonna look at one called down tack under, all caps. This one was suggested because it had both beefberry and chew root right at the crash site, which tend to be some of the more difficult resources to find. And they mentioned that this was their favorite seed for the Sobrius region. All right, so this is our crash landing zone for this seed. And I am seeing right here some melons. Over here, I'm seeing the grain cob. They did say right next to your crash site was chew root and beefberry. And we are right here on this little pond. And I am seeing the telltale signs of beefberries with these little butterflies in the trees. So let's see if we can't find them. I think perhaps this is it back here. There we are. So here we have our beefberry plant right here along the edges of this little lake, which is nice. And the true root must be nearby as well. We're going to take it on their authority that both are in fact in the vicinity, and we are seeing a lot of wildlife here. There's a lot of opportunity to both hunt and tame. I'm seeing a ton, like just fields and fields of these purple berry bushes. There's a lot of that. You're not going to need to plant those. I think you're going to be able to harvest them, and I would recommend harvesting them even to excess, because even if some of it goes to waste, it'll get you through cold winters. If you are running out of food, you'll have that to fall back on. Plenty of mining, that's for sure, and lots of forested, tree-covered areas to chop. So building materials, check. Farming materials, also check. If you're planning on putting Emmeline in your party, this would be a good seed to play on because it comes with that chew root and that beefberry, and she is an expert chef, so you're actually going to be able to perform recipes that call for those two ingredients. Looking at our breakthroughs, we have ore prospecting, hay cloth, improved lasers, improved pulse rifles, and once again, improved railguns at this seed. The next one is called DUMA-KEY, and I'm going to go ahead and read to you what it was that the commenter had said that left this recommendation on one of my videos. They had pointed out that this is one of the very few plains and valleys with all of the plants. All of them. Best of all, it has a pretty deep gorge, spacious enough to live there without having to get out, and there are nests close by. So it does sound kind of like the best of both worlds. Let's go ahead and check it out. DUMA-KEY, I am seeing melons here, grain cob here, cotton blossom here, some berry plants here. I think that might be beefberry, but then also, and I haven't even turned around yet. Bear in mind, we're still looking in the crash landing direction. Here we have multiple wide leaf plants, which could be our true root over here, or it might be smoke leaf. Either way. Zooming in, I can actually tell that this one is smoke leaf. And here we're seeing some of these plants, and as promised, a nest. So here we have a nest as well. And keep in mind, we're not that far from our crash zone. That nest is literally just behind this piece of debris, boxing us in a little bit. So without this, it's really just us staring at them staring at us, debating who's gonna strike first. Mining opportunities and cutting opportunities, they're a little spread out, but there are definitely plenty of them. You're just gonna have to walk to them. They're not coming to you. Breakthrough-wise, we have hay cloth, meat printing, graphene solar cells, and battery optimization. The battery optimization is a nice one, and I don't think we've talked about that yet in this video. But anytime you're able to optimize your electric grid, it feels like winning. You feel like you kind of hit the lottery with that one. So that would definitely be one that I would want to implement for sure. And then we have, of course, the graphene solar cells, which is a lot better than the standard solar panels. So as soon as you research these, I would come over here and upgrade to a graphene solar cell before even building my solar panels. That way we're not having to tear down and recycle materials or lose material that we're unable to recoup from replacing outdated technology. Just look at that view, just miles it seems. You can just see for miles. Quite the line of sight here, quite the preview, and I bet depending on what moon you choose to play under, whether you do Nyx or Chaos or the Jason moon, you're going to have a really spectacular view. Okay, try not to laugh, but the next one is called Sexy Time. You can laugh if you want to. This is Sexy Tack Time in all caps, and we are going to go ahead and hit next. I was told that this is a really good seed for ranching, among many other things, so if you're interested in playing the sow and sell game mode in the Sobrius region, this might be the new seed for you. We are going to take a look around immediately at the crash landing zone. I'm seeing a ton of stone to build with. There's so much of it within walking distance that you're able to start mining right off the bat. And we also have mixed in here with the stone and the rubble, plenty of cotton blossom plants to get yourself a really nice stockpile of cotton blossom. Spinning it around the other way, we have ourselves this really cute little pond here. And on the pond, there are 58 berry plants. So already I would send somebody there to check these out. We can see over here some smoke leaf at the other side of the pond. There is lots of open landscape for ranching. This person suggested this seed specifically for the ranching lifestyle. Ever since we got that herding update, it's been really nice to sort of suss out which seeds are really great for building your own homegrown ranch, and this would be one of them. Breakthrough-wise, we're looking at sleep training, chitlin synthetics, fuel fermentation, and carbon wind turbines. Here might be a great place to set up some wind power instead of solar power. Heading back to the Desertum region now, we're going to check out one called Pass Tack Inside, all caps on the words. And this one was suggested because there is a wide, deep blue river in the desert, and it's a little bit of a trek down a hill, I was told, but worth the trip. So let's check it out. This is really picturesque already. Right at the crash landing site, in the direction that they have us pointing, we're already underneath this natural arch formation, which looks really cool and has these sweet syrups already growing underneath it, which we could research and harvest in a heartbeat. I'm also seeing over here to the right of screen this other arched formation, which looks really nice and probably provides a really nice amount of shade. And again, as mentioned before, temperature really does matter in the shade and in the sun here. Everybody is actually really chilly right now, so this must be cold season for the desert. And that's something that you're going to want to keep in mind when you're playing the desert. It's not always hot. Over here to the other side of this natural arch formation to check out some of the plants we have here. It looks like we have an abundance of these branched cacti, which are really great for creating a nice healing balm. We have tea balls here mixed in, and if we scroll a little bit further, we're gonna see some of these other types of cacti. What it was that the commenter wanted us to see is actually facing this direction. And if we look over the hill, we have ourselves this nice, beautiful blue river cutting through the landscape. And I have to admit, that looks pretty darn good. I do think that is a really long walk for everybody to take, especially considering they don't gotta make that walk once, not twice, but several times in order to haul all their gear. So if you're migrating in this game, be prepared to lose days of prep and setup just in the effort to haul all your belongings, or be comfortable and willing to part with those starter supplies and leave them behind. In the direction that we were initially facing, if you look right over here to the left of it, past all of this sand, this dust that's kicking up in the air, I'm seeing quite a lot of nest formations. I'm seeing 5 right here on screen. So if you're interested in a Desertum seed that is going to give you plenty of space to build, plenty of water for your visual aesthetic, and plenty of nest formations to harvest that carbon resource, you're going to get it in this seed. That said, let's check out our breakthroughs, because we have chitlin synthetics, carbon wind turbines, battery optimization, and improved railgun snipers. That is a good blend of breakthroughs. It kind of gives you a little bit from every different type of breakthrough, like every different type of research. The next one on our list is all lowercase, so when you're typing this in, make sure not to capitalize any part of it, but if you write in Días de los Muertos, this should take you to the same map as the LLL seed, however, further along the lake and with the potential of an early walk-in in-game. So let's check it out. We are not right on the very edge as we've been in the past and other seeds that we've looked at, but we are seeing the same seed down to the herds being in the same spot as they were before. If I'm not mistaken, we were also going to receive the same breakthrough, so let's take a look at that. So we're getting improved solar cells, graphene solar cells, carbon wind turbines, improved pulse rifles, and improved railguns. And I'm just very briefly going to glance over some of the resources here, since we have seen this lake before in my previous seeds videos, which if you haven't seen them yet, I will link them in the iCard and posted at the end of the video for you to travel to next, just in case you wanted to explore more seed opportunities for this game before landing on one that you would prefer to play. We are gonna see some cotton blossom right here, green cob right here, If we scooch up closer to the lake, we have ourselves some skin bark material here in the purple, and more than the usual collection of these synthetic flowers. We scroll over in this direction, we have ourselves some of the orange glowing mushrooms you can research and plant. And if I tilt up, we're gonna see ourselves the first nest formation, which is right here on the lake. You can't miss it. I wonder if this crashing, hang on. There is one of these dead flying insects here on the ground. I wonder if it got knocked out of the sky by this when it crashed. And folks, before we move on, let me just say there's a dog right here next to the crash landing zone, right on day one. So if you did put somebody in your party who has the ability to tame a dog, I would suggest getting some dried meats going right away, because there's one right here waiting to become man's best friend. Next one on our list is called Prize Tag Topic, all in caps locks, and this one is a Sobrius region seed. And the reason why this was suggested is because it has, and I quote, everything you need. But if that wasn't enough, there's also a lake and mountainscape next to it that just gives you the extra chef's kiss. Let's check it out. Also the LLL Lake. So here we have it back to back. We're a little bit closer to where LLL lands you, but let's see if the breakthroughs are any different. Hay cloth, improved laser pistol, pulse rifle, railgun sniper, and carbonite armor. Yeah, I would say this is a little bit more military heavy, a little bit more offensive heavy. So if you liked this location, but you wanted to have a little bit more of a armament heavy playthrough, this might be a great way to land at the same seed, but get different breakthroughs that are more suitable for your playstyle. This one certainly piqued my interest when I read the comment. It is called HARBINGER-ELICIT, all caps, and the comment itself was very tantalizing. They had written, it has the best scenic area with decent resources, but the crash landing is amazing. And I don't know what they mean by that. I want to see what exactly it means to have an amazing crash landing. Oh, that is impressive, coming out of the fog like that. All right, so I don't know if it's always foggy. If it is, then yeah, it's very cinematic on the crash landing animatic coming onto the seed. Perhaps they meant this, the actual crash landing situation here, where you are literally one with the environment. You've become a part of the landscape itself here, which looks pretty incognito. I'm seeing that we are downhill from that plateau that we saw on the way in, and we have ourselves a little bit of a wide open ledge here before we descend even further into the valley. So we're kind of at medium height when it comes to elevation. Down in the valley, there is a little pond, which is kind of cute. I do see our mushrooms here, so we have some glowing mushrooms down the hill, but you don't have to go down the hill to find them because they're right here on this corner over this way. Right next to our rock formation hideaway, we have ourselves some melons, we have ourselves some sweet syrups, and right here some grain cup. So I do think that it's possible to set up camp and get yourself situated quickly here at the seed. If you are a mountainous kind of person, you enjoy variable terrain, this is a beautiful seed that really suits that preference, and it is definitely beautiful. This would make for a great screenshot right here. Breakthrough wise, we have hay sausages, meat printing, graphene solar cells, and battery optimization. All right, we have just a few more to go, so I hope that one of these will turn out to be the seed that you're looking for. And of course, with any seed that you might land at, it is all about strategy and being flexible with your techniques so that you can find new ways to succeed in your objective in game. And that's what makes it fun. Having the right seed for the playstyle that you are pursuing does make it a little bit more enjoyable. We are now going to check out a seed called Wonder Tack Staff, all capitalization, and this one was recommended within the first 1.5 years. The commenter said that they had scavenged 2 mech cores and they had full carbon fortifications by the end of year 2. Sounds very promising, so let's check it out. Is it just me, or is anybody else totally taken aback by the fact that they've changed the color scheme on the crash landing escape pod? It's got new animations, it's got a new color scheme, it has a new crash landing animation or animatic. They definitely went ahead and revised, or maybe not revised, but simply added to the rotation of different animations that you could see. So there is more variety. So we're gonna take a step back and check out what we have here. Right behind us at the crash landing zone, just out of reach of our burn trail here, are some melons. We have in front of us a lot of bushels of berries here, and to our right we have these silicone plants. We have some skin bark plants. If I look in the other direction, we have ourselves some more scavenging opportunities, and if I rotate the camera around to look directly in front of the crash landing trajectory, those nests that we saw incoming from the crash landing animation are just up the hill. So that's something that if you're looking to clean out a nest and get those carbon resources, there's not one, but two right here directly in front of the crash landing pod. We're gonna look at our breakthroughs for the seed. They are meat printing, balloon optimization, improved laser pistols, and improved railgun snipers. And if I spin this around and look behind us, there is no shortage of nest. You have no shortage of a nest. And again, within close walking distance, we have two nests right here just behind us. So you're gonna find nests if you're looking for nests. The next one on our list was brought to us by a WWE fan who typed in LIV-MORGAN, all caps, and found that this seed provided lots of space. So if you're here to ranch, if you're here to sow and sell, this would be a good seed, and it was their recommendation specifically because there are plenty of crops nearby that make farming really easy, especially in early game. So let's check that out. All right, so let's scroll back and take a look. Right here, I'm seeing this red grain grass. Pivot a little bit, I'm seeing right here, we have ourselves some cotton blossom. And if we pivot a little bit more, there are a lot more cotton blossom over here to our immediate right. We have the silicone plant directly ahead. If I spin a little bit more, we're gonna see lots and lots and lots of mining opportunities back here. So I think in the case of this seed, your primary building resource might be stone rather than wood or timber. There's also scrap metal in excess. I'm seeing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, all in close proximity, 8. So yeah, lots of scrap metal, lots of opportunity to scavenge, and lots of wildlife for taming. Here we have hay sausage, printed components. Those are going to be your electronic components, graphene solar cells, carbon wind turbines, and carbon armor. If they're giving you the opportunity to use carbon breakthroughs, I'm going to go ahead and make a leap of faith and assume that they're also going to provide you with the carbon resource as well. This one, I have to read the comment out loud to you because it was just so good. So we're gonna go ahead and read the comment for Budget Tac Ticket, all caps. And this one says, Budget Tac Ticket has amazing scenery next to a river and tons of different resources close by. But here is the best part. Stay stranded, my fellow survivors. With an exclamation mark, of course. I thought that that was really great and in the spirit of the game and certainly worth a look. So you've got my attention, let's check it out. Honestly, I was expecting a scenic water view, but I'm definitely seeing more of like Lord of the Rings, Misty Mountain. Yeah, it's definitely got that vibe, but I don't hate it. The aesthetic is giving and I like it. I certainly hope this is not random, that this happens every time you come to this seed. Look at this, 3 dogs right next to the crash site as if they're the welcoming committee. They're just waiting for you to come over to greet them, to tame them, and to make them a part of your family. So here you go. Next to them are the sweet syrups that can be so clutch when you need to feed folks. And taking a wider view of everything here, this one is kind of the opposite of what I said in the previous one, where I was like, you're gonna wanna build with stone here. I don't think that's the case for this seed. I think for this seed, you're gonna wanna build with timber. You're gonna wanna build with lumber here. You do have stone, but it's not quite in the abundance as what you have in lumber. Up this way, you can always tell when you're seeing naked branches that there's more than likely a nest hiding in the trees, and that certainly is the case here. That's going to be something you're going to want to keep an eye on. I don't know how soon they're going to aggro. We are really close by them, so if you head anywhere in this direction to start building, just know who your neighbors are. Breakthrough-wise, we have ourselves sleep training. We have carbon wind turbines, improved pulse rifles, and carbon armor on this seed, which conveniently enough, they are providing you with carbon through that nest formation just up the hill. That said, I was told that there was a river here. Yeah, I'm not really seeing a river at this landscape, but if you guys watched my playthrough Sobrius region video, you know that that's okay. I am willing to make do with a pond or two. It doesn't have to be an ocean or a beachfront property in order for me to make it work, and this would work for me. I appreciate the recommendation. This is a nice referral with a lot of potential. This next recommendation is Rope Tack Secret in all caps, and the reason why we're reviewing this one is because the commenter had mentioned that they'd received or were able to obtain 9 survivors in 3 years, which kind of surprised me because I didn't even know we could have more than 8 survivors. So that is certainly an eye-opener for me. I'm more than willing to check it out, and I'm going to take you guys along with me. Feels like you're really standing on the top of a mountain right there at like eye line with the moon. We've landed really on a plateau at the top of this mountain range, which is pretty nice. That said, let's turn around and take a look at some of the resources here because this is a really colorful plateau, and I'm seeing a lot of different things. I'm seeing a ton of these berries, 313 that I've just selected with my mouse now, and that doesn't necessarily mean that I grabbed all of them, just all of the ones right here. The berries bring in the herds, and so you're gonna see a lot of these guys as well. All of this purple stuff, that's our skin bark. The red stuff over here, that's our silicone. And if we're willing to walk a little bit further, closer to this little pond, we're gonna see back here some melons. You can't have everything without a little bit of competition. So here's the competition. We are looking at 2 nests tucked away at the very back of the plateau. Breakthrough-wise, we have chitlin synthetics, hay sausages, improved solar cells, carbon wind turbines, and improved pulse rifles. But most importantly of all, let's not forget that the commenter mentioned at this location they were able to acquire 9 total survivors within 3 years, and that's a pretty large number. So given the overall package, this is a seed that I would play, and if it's what you're looking for, I hope that you're able to load this up and get everything out of it that you're hoping for in your gameplay. Before I show you the final 2 suggested seeds, we're going to check out one of my suggestions based on the new jungle region. So let's go ahead to Saltu, which is our jungle biome, and the seed that we're going to check out is Jungle Tack Book, all caps. Here is our crash landing zone, and to say it is colorful would be an understatement. We are looking at the new jungle biome, and there are a lot of different plants in here that you're going to find because the jungle is, if nothing else, abundant in resources. I also really like this seed for another reason, and if I spin this around, you're going to know why. Definitely puts my mind to the Amazon and the Amazon River. I haven't been there, but certainly is what comes to mind, and so this definitely fits the bill. It certainly suits the aesthetic to me, and you can really get started on your build without worrying as much about being able to feed everyone, regardless of what difficulty level you're playing on or how many rations you have, because there is food in abundance here that can be immediately harvested and eaten. You're gonna see a variety of new plants if you haven't played this play mode yet. Our breakthrough technology for Jungle Tack Book are meat printing, printed components, balloon optimization, our improved pulse rifles, and improved railgun snipers. And before we leave the jungle, let's go ahead and also take a quick glance at some of the new creatures. These striped horned animals, that's kind of new. Rhinoceros looking beaver combined animals, they're great for producing fuel when you need the manure to produce fuel. So that's my 2 cents on those. Second to last is reply virus. It's caps on reply and virus with a tack mark in between. And we're gonna go ahead and hit confirm and check this out. Well, right off the bat, we're standing in a pine forest. So let's scroll back and rotate and look around. But I think when they mention lots of space for farming, they probably mean down either side of this elevated space. And you kind of pick your side. You can pick the side that has the nests, or you can pick the side that does not. And if you like to build a really big plot, they're right, there's lots of space for that. And if you're playing sow and sell mode, where you want to have an excess or an abundance of produce, then this would be a great place to really be a maximalist and really push the boundaries of how much you can plant, grow, harvest, and sell with the limited number of personnel that you do have. Breakthroughs, we have ore prospecting, hay cloth, carbon wind turbines, and improved pulse rifles for this seed. Last but certainly not least is the seed LAKE-PICTURESQUE, written in all caps. And of course, fill the space in with the tack mark, and there we have it. We're gonna hit confirm. This one was recommended for its resources, and as just a brief side note, I would like to point out that our crash landing pod, we've received the previous, or the OG, the original crash landing pod. So I do think that it's not that they've replaced it, but rather that they've added more to the different rotations of what you could randomize in your scenario. Right here, I'm seeing a herd of wolfins. I spin around this way, I'm seeing lots of scrap metal opportunities. And of course, you can't have a seed called LAKE-PICTURESQUE without at least one body of water. And if we look down the hill on this side of our crash landing pod, we're gonna see a large, beautiful river or lake. On the landscape, lots of color, which means a lot of variable resources here. So I'm not gonna go scrolling down there to find it. We can already tell that it exists. And before we get into the breakthroughs, let's take a quick spin around and see if there's any danger, behind our backs. And I think there might be. If we scroll up here, I was right. So there we have it, a nest right behind us on the mountain that we are on. That is everything that I have for you. Editing DD here, that's not quite true. The breakthroughs for this seed are chitlin synthetics, hay cloth, meat printing, fuel fermentation, and battery optimization. If you liked the video, please remember to give it a thumbs up. I appreciate you making it to the end of the video, and if you're interested in more Stranded Alien Dawn content, go ahead and subscribe, because we cover a lot of that here on this channel. Everything from seeds videos to playthroughs, and coming soon, live streams as well, where you can ask questions or interact and even make suggestions in person on stream. Thanks again for watching, and I will see you next time. Oh, and if you haven't already, check out these playlists. They're all about Stranded Alien Dawn and all the different biomes that we have to explore in this game. Okay, that's everything. I'll see you guys. Bye.